What masturbation is doing to you. We've all heard that masturbation is completely normal. But have you ever wondered how much is too much? When does it go from being just a habit to something that controls you? And if you've ever felt like you can't stop, what does that really mean for your mind and life? Today, we're diving deep into these questions and exposing the hidden trap behind what seems like a harmless act. Before we begin, I want to acknowledge the eye-catching title. I had to get your attention because this is a 21st century issue that's silently weakening the willpower of millions. And trust me, what you're about to discover will change how you see things forever. From taboo to normal. Modern science tells us that masturbation is common, not just among humans, but also in animals like dogs and other mammals. But society hasn't always viewed it this way. In the past, masturbation was seen as immoral, particularly for men, because it was considered a waste of reproductive potential. For women, it was feared that self-pleasure might make them less dependent on men. On top of the moral stigma, people even believed that it caused diseases, making it something to be completely avoided. But today, science has flipped the script. We now know that masturbation can help with stress relief and even aid sleep, especially for those suffering from insomnia. So what's the issue? Why do so many people feel trapped by it? Let's break it down. The hidden problem. No one talks about. Here's where things take a dark turn. The French Institute of Health and Medical Research found that after orgasm, the male brain shuts down sexual desire. The cerebral cortex, the part responsible for conscious thought, goes into rest mode, which explains why men often feel sleepy afterward. But here's the catch. Masturbation floods your brain with dopamine, the same chemical that gives you feelings of pleasure, relaxation, and stress relief. Sounds great, right? Well, not exactly. Dopamine is highly addictive. It's the same brain chemical responsible for addictions to drugs, gambling, and junk food. The more you indulge, the more your brain demands it, creating a vicious cycle. According to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM-5, compulsive sexual behavior, such as excessive masturbation, falls under the category of obsessive-compulsive disorders. When you lose control, your desires start dictating your actions, leading you to seek out more extreme forms of pleasure, whether through pornography, meaningless encounters, or even risky behaviors. Do you know about the science of addiction? Why you feel trapped? Your brain is wired to seek pleasure, but when it gets too much dopamine, it starts to shut down receptors to compensate. This means that over time, the same act no longer brings the same satisfaction, so you do it more and more, chasing a high that's fading away. At this point, you're not even enjoying it anymore. You're just stuck in a loop, frustrated and exhausted. It's the same pattern seen in drug addicts, alcoholics, and compulsive gamblers, and it's robbing you of your energy, motivation, and self-control. What the Stoics knew about pleasure. If you think this is just a modern problem, think again. The great Stoic philosophers, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus, warned about the dangers of unchecked pleasure centuries ago. They believed that true power comes from mastering your desires, not being enslaved by them. For them, self-control wasn't about denying pleasure, but about understanding it and choosing discipline over impulse. As the philosopher Epicurus once said, "It is not endless pleasure that defines a good life, but self-control." The Stoics taught that every action has consequences, not just for ourselves, but for our connection to the world around us. When we give in to compulsive behaviors, we weaken our willpower and drift away from true inner peace. Instead of controlling our desires start controlling us. How do you attain the path to self-mastery? I once knew someone who was trapped in this cycle. Every time he gave in, he felt momentary relief, but it was always followed by guilt, frustration, and a feeling of emptiness. No matter how many times he told himself he'd stop, he kept falling back into the same habit. But everything changed when he discovered Stoic teachings and the power of self-mastery. Instead of trying to force himself to quit, he started focusing on regaining control over his own mind. Through meditation, discipline, and purpose-driven actions, he gradually broke free, and his confidence, focus, and energy skyrocketed. The truth about true confidence and success. Now let's get real. Do you honestly think that sitting at home, watching explicit content, and numbing your brain with artificial pleasure is making you stronger, more attractive, or more successful? If you're a man, do you think this habit will make you more confident, ambitious, and appealing to women? If you're a woman, do you think it's making you feel more empowered, fulfilled, or in control? The truth is, excessive masturbation drains your energy, weakens your drive, and keeps you trapped in a cycle of instant gratification instead of long-term fulfillment. It's time to reclaim your power. Your challenge: take back control. If you've made it this far, you're already taking the first step: awareness. Now I challenge you to take action. Comment below and say, I am a powerful person. I have control over my mind. I choose to do what improves me. I choose to focus on my goals. By declaring it, you're taking the first step toward self-mastery. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe for more content that empowers you to become the best version of yourself. Stay strong, stay disciplined, and take charge of your life.